Well, hello folks, and welcome back to Tafferton. It's the 8th of December, 2 o'clock in the morning, and after our last little bit of fun with the Rebels and the Galactic Imperials, it was quiet for about a week. Until now, a group of Orion Corporation soldiers from the Orion installation have arrived nearby. They are attacking instantly. We knew this day would come when we would be attacked by a group more battle-hardened and well-equipped than simple tribals or World War I cosplayers. Fortunately for us, it's just one dude on a Komodo dragon. What the hell are you doing, Wilkinson? He's a jailbird. I'm gonna guess that he was sent here maybe on accident? Shit, he's got Alzheimer's. He's got old timers. Come on, man. And a fault in the electrical conduit has caused a short circuit. All the way out here. Thankfully, it's raining. Unfortunately, what that means is that all my batteries are drained. At some point, I will set up a more complicated system that has places powered by different circuit loops and on their own little battery relays, but for now I'm not even worried about it. Fel, we need you out here as well. We shouldn't really need too many people for this stock. You're histrionic, so you're not gonna help. Hintelin, you are binging on nicotine, so you're not gonna be any help. Dan Shadow, you have an iron longsword. Tempting, but you're not gonna be any help. Metal slime. Let's get you out here. Surely 3 people can take care of one guy without sustaining casualties, especially since we're gonna have somebody on the M2 as well. You're not gonna attack the fence, are you? Igniting wooden fence. I guess he is. No, just forget it. Stand down. If this jackass decides that it's actually worth his time to come bother us and not just beat up our fence up here, then hey. Oh, hey. Igniting. Oh, he's igniting this fence all the way down here. I see. Fell. Sorry. Bench. Doubly sorry. Nylon, how screwed are you? Just got asthma. You know what? You can come down here. Nylon hops out of bed, having freshly shaved his beard off, apparently. It's time for you to get a little bit of revenge on the Orion installation, since you didn't get to help us at all during our assault to free you from captivity. I mean, he probably still won't get a chance. He does only have a pistol. Oh, wow, he's dead already. Damn it, I was hoping that he wouldn't die so quick. Psychic Soothe. Guys, really, you can stand down. Every colonist of the female gender smiles with contentment. Wonderful. So we get another pistol for our coffers, and unfortunately we don't get that exoskeleton. I really dislike how you can't chop people's bionic body parts out when they die. I mean, it's still good, right? It doesn't. Why does it have to be removed while he's alive? I've got so many questions. Grimmeth is the new Revocaine of this colony. Broken down, wandering around, confused. And the other big issue that we have health-wise is Goldeneye. His artery blockage is up to 22%. That's another reason I was kind of hoping we wouldn't just kill this guy outright. We could have chopped his heart out and attempted to install it in Goldeneye. I have moved all of the high-tech research equipment and stuff into the research room as well. We've got the comms console in here. So far it hasn't panned out with any decent deals, so it's kind of a bust. But hey, the next thing on the list is the computing system. We just need 140 steel that honestly probably won't take too long in order to gather now that we are done building all of the defenses out here. All of the pit traps that I'm going to build for now are dug and engaged. The barbed wire is set up with plenty of space between to slow people down. That way they can't just sprint across it. If you make it solid, they only have to take time to climb over the first row, and then the rest of it is an open sprint, if I'm not mistaken. Other than that pitiful, sad little raid, there has not really been anything going on. We are cleaning up the hallways in anticipation of roofing them, flooring them, and getting things more organized in our base layout. Making all of the main corridors 2 doors wide for now. May look into at some point ripping all these doors out as well and leaving the hallways open. Hey, his stock has stopped being histrionic. He's still ready to fuck snap, and I don't know why. I mean, if you're hungry and tired at this point, that is on you, so maybe it'll balance out. As soon as he has a little bit of food in his belly. Let's see what we can research, or actually build, I mean. I do need auto doors at some point. I don't really want to spend 2 components and 40 steel on them right now. If I made reinforced glass, that would chop the resources required down considerably. I do need a laboratory station. An auxiliary research station for expanding laboratory operations requires power. Of course it does. And we've also got the robotics workbench that I need to build at some point. U.S. armorer table, U.S. tailor bench. Let's go ahead and set up the laboratory station. It is kind of a massive piece of equipment. Actually, doesn't look too bad right there. Okay. We'll put a chair here. We can have a whole research area. I'm kind of liking it. A workbench equipped for production of simple prosthetics. I can already build bionic prosthetics. I'm not entirely sure what that would actually allow us to create. Could do some decorating for the colonists, though I think I'm going to put that off for just a little bit longer. I did build them meditation pads in their rooms. Kind of half and half between Jedi and Sith. Maybe at some point we'll get some force powers in here. I keep waiting, and so far it has not happened. If we get an actual Jedi or Sith Lord, we will come up there and we will build a lightsaber with our crystal here. But until I have somebody with powers who can use it, I'm not interested in sending somebody into close range combat. We've also got some new medical stuff. The industrial surgery lamp and the industrial surgery instruments that I am not quite yet ready to build. I am thinking what we're going to do is rip out all of these walls, in fact. Let's do it now. What are we waiting for? Let's do it with you guys here. Destroy all of this stuff, and this entire area is going to end up being the medical room. Probably end up destroying most of these medieval medical apparatus and upgrading them. Get some beds, some additional beds set up, some silver thrown down on the floor, and this will be a nice little medical wing. Let's see. Still don't have anything new power-wise. So I think that we could do it like this. Have one lamp take care of 2 beds, And then maybe on the other side here, we could move things like the surgery tools, or even have the surgery tools at the foot of the beds. Wall light, please. What are you even clinging on to? Sleepy Joe? What is wrong with you now? A hideous environment. Well, I'm sorry that the dirty fucking rock quarry isn't up to your living standards. Let us take some time and beautify it for you, shall we? Because that's what's important. Stock worked himself into exhaustion. Go to bed, man. Seriously. I am going to assume that because he was histrionic, he missed his sleeping period. And is now simply being forced to work until he passes out. I did decide to force people to work for most of the day before they have time to hang out and stuff. That way I can get a lot of stuff done for the time being. In fact, drug. Don't think you're going to be immune from having to work along with everyone else. Once we kind of get caught up on what I want to do, I will trim that down and let them have more time to do, well, whatever the heck they want to do. Really want to build these. You guys don't know how bad I want to build them, but I don't have a reliable method of making chem fuel yet, which is what I believe it takes to launch these things. I've been eyeballing them for several videos off screen now. Thinking, is now the time? We've got Dungeons and Randy's, the ancient tabletop role-playing game. Toxic fallouts and plagues for everybody. Don't really have anywhere to put it right now. We will be making a recreation room at some point. For the time being, people pretty much can play horseshoes, sit on the scenic benches and watch the stars, or come play Rimworld on the tactical computer. I think it's Rimworld that they play. I didn't know really that it would double as a video game thing, even though the description told me that. I thought it was being tongue-in-cheek. It's definitely not. Hygiene stuff is going to be updated whenever we move the bathrooms over here. For now, I'm not too terribly worried about it, because that's going to mean redoing all of the pipes, all of the plumbing, probably going to have to destroy the sewage outlet and the solar heater, since they can't be relocated. So I want to wait until I have more of the layout figured out before we do something that I can't undo. And we have finished researching dynamic electromagnetics. Allows us to fabricate advanced buildings using electromagnetic components. This unlocks the upper tier of power generation and technology found in every Glitterworld installation. Oh, really? The Xenon Ion Turbine produces electricity by collecting trace xenon from water and ionizing it into plasma. Must be placed on a geyser. Well, that doesn't do me any good. So we did get a new form of power, but I don't have any geysers around here. That's the nearest geyser, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, if there was one over here somewhere, I could seal it off maybe, and I don't know. That is going to be a form of power we don't get to enjoy. Next up, however, we are searching electroplasmatics, which enables construction of the plasma fusion reactor. Don't know exactly what that entails, but I'm going to assume it doesn't require a geyser to set on top of. Then we do advanced factorization, unlocking more technology. Pharmaceuticals after that. Guest reambulation pod. I don't know, that sounds neat. And just a reambulation pod. After that, we'll probably be jumping over to something else. Synthetic organs would be tempting if it didn't take 5,000. Synthetic kidney. Synthetic stomach. We need a synthetic heart for Goldeneye the Mayor before it's too late for him. So yeah, these things are going to take a little bit of time to knock out. Hardened components. Nicotine addiction. I don't really care if people get addicted to nicotine. Pretty much everyone in the colony right now, if you haven't looked over here at this little column, has something wrong with them. Either anxiety, or cancer, or asthma, or artery blockage. The party has finished. So yeah, smoking is far more dangerous than anyone ever would have guessed. Who knew you would get cancer at apparently a 90% rate in less than a year from smoking? What else do we got that we can't really build right now, but we can dream about for the future? It's always nice to dream, isn't it? I definitely need sleeping bags at some point. That way we can take them with us on journeys, and my colonists don't have to sleep on the ground. Various pieces of furniture. I'm still not interested in decorating with. Security-wise, there's not really anything new. Even though we are getting to the point where I can start building some of the turrets out there. 250 steel per turret, though. 250, it's actually 280 because of the additional components that we have to make. UV hydroponics. This is another thing that I'm still debating on what I want to do with. We definitely need an entire room filled with hydroponics trays at some point, because the heat will be back. It's 47 degrees outside right now. But I imagine in another 2-3 years, perhaps, it'll be back up to 150, 160 out there. One of the things I'm going to do once I get this wall built here, I believe we're getting closer and closer all of the time to being able to finalize it. I will probably move some of my gardening stuff out here. Some of the various growing plots that we lost when the base expanded through the center here. I also went ahead and built a whole bunch of sarcophagus down here. This will be eventually where all of the dead get buried. Once I can destroy all the solar panels and seal this off, it'll be the place people go to pay their respects to the dead, except for Nerium, who will always remain buried right here unless we want to open her casket, or sarcophagus, and put her body in a different one if we even could. I may have to research that and see if that's possible. This stupid thing is finally about ready to decay, the star vampire. I made a specific dumping stockpile for it right here. I don't see anything wrong with it. It's definitely set up for star vampires. But yet nobody would haul it over here. Which means we've had to spend 13 days staring at it with a -80 mood modifier every time somebody even catches a glimpse of it out of the corner of their eye. Quite frustrating. And hey, Fel is finally building the computing system. And it looks like the laboratory station will be done soon too. So our research wing is coming along nicely. The rest of the colony still has quite a ways to go. Rooms like this are going to be changed and gutted and shifted around. It's exciting times for the Tafferton, honestly. And Drug is inspired to do some surgery. Wonderful. If we had a new heart, that would be great, I think. What is your doctoring? 7, that's not too bad. Grimmeth has 14. If he can remember how to do it when the time comes, and he doesn't decide to just doze off and walk around like a lost duckling. So, it's the 9th of December, 1 in the morning. Most of the colonists are getting ready to go to bed, and we are basically just waiting for the moisture pumps to finish here, and for a a stockpile of steel to be pulled out of the ground so that we can continue some of these projects. Welcome back, fellow colonists. It's the 11th of December, 7 o'clock in the morning, and Metal Slime and Mickey Moi have decided that it's time for their wedding ceremony to take place. Everybody is currently gathered in this small little dining hall. And apparently somebody wants to join us. Forelli from the Rebels. Okay, was wandering nearby and noticed we could use some help. She's a Hive-World drone, and her traits are she dislikes children and she's the prosophilia. She is Fel's grandmother. I really don't want any more old people, but whatever, we'll accept her. Only 59, I guess that's not too bad. I was gonna say, if we start getting too many old people, we might just start using them for like suicide missions and to go explore stuff. For a second I thought that there was a pack of cigarettes just randomly flying around, but you got me, Crafter Bot. You got me. Oh. Metal Slime and Mickey exchange vows right outside the bathroom. As Grimmeth casually stumbles through. He's old. He's got a little bit of dementia. He doesn't give a hoot about weddings. He's seen hundreds of them in his time. And he sure as hell doesn't need to see another. We also finished researching electroplasmatics. Allows us to direct plasma using magnetic fields. Unlocks very high tier technology that wields the extreme power of plasma. I looked at what that unlocked for us, and it is the plasma fusion reactor. That takes a ton of resources I'm probably not going to be able to get a hold of for quite some time. 320 titanium. I also need magnetic coils that I don't really know how to make. I'm not entirely sure I've seen those pop up on any of my crafting benches yet. And to be fair, I haven't really built all of the crafting benches that I think I can. There's still a couple that need to get their own rooms at some point. Oh boy, nicotine addiction. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a while before we get around to that. Nylon, you've developed an addiction to nicotine. Congratulations, you can join the rest of the colonists in smoking your life away, I guess. Everybody's happy, though. It's a good day for the colony. You can see moods, for the most part, are relatively high. And even Forelli has decided to join in. There's no reason to miss a good party. So, you're incapable of being intellectual or artistic. Kinda good with animals. Really good at mining. So I think that's what we're gonna have you do. I don't know who you're gonna be yet. I wasn't prepared to have anybody show up. Can probably have you start going out and trying to tame some of the animals that I've got marked to tame. Construction, no. Mining, yes. Don't even really want you worrying about hauling or cleaning, I guess. There's a couple things I'm trying to tame right now. A wild boar that was nearby. Might as well try to tame that one. It's a 1.8% chance to get attacked if we fail. And 2 alpacas. They're 2 males, so it unfortunately won't be a breeding pair. But if we can tame those 2, hey, that's 2 that we can ride into battle or wherever the hell we want to go. As well as being able to load them down with supplies. Should we run across the need. Oh, what's going on anyways around the colony? What was I doing before taking a couple hour break? I decided to wall this off and open this up and I think that we are going to use this area for something. I've been debating for a while what I even want to do with these rooms. These might end up being bedrooms for colonists, because I kind of don't have anywhere else to expand into just yet. And I think we've got some people who actually need rooms now. Drog. And let me see. Let me get a name here. I gotta pull up the list. That's just the rules of this playlist. Sometimes I pull names out of my ass, or just people who've been around for a while. This time it's just whoever's in the comments section. This is going to be... Come on, YouTube. Work with me here. I know you want to give me some name to choose from. Some of these people have already had colonists, so they don't get another one. That's just the rules, too. And you know, I haven't given myself a colonist in this one. It's always tempting. I think that this will be... I don't think... Yeah, you had one last time, and you had one in the colony. The last colony. I think we'll give you another one. You haven't had one in this one. You are fairly active, unfortunately. Ballas the Frog Lord, welcome to the colony. You are an old woman. A grandmother. A drone. Got a devil's leaf fabric uniform coat on and Komodo dragon leather pants. At least you brought your own clothing. It's more than we can say for some of the people who have arrived here to join us. The laboratory station is now finished and it actually has a seating area, which I'm not entirely sure who the hell would ever use it, because I think you can only have one researcher at a time. And as far as I can tell, the laboratory station just acts as another research bench. I could be wrong. The research bench, by the way, has a research factor of 119. Earlier, it was 120, so maybe it just needs to be maintained. No, it doesn't even need maintenance. Whatever. It's no big deal right now. Domestic Goose 6 has broken down and is wandering around confused. I think we're going to have to put that duck out of its misery. Domestic Goose 6. You poor thing. It's got dementia. Not a horrible case of dementia, but a little bit. It's only 3 quadrums old. What the hell is a quadrum? I can't remember. Is that just a season? Calling, rescue, obedience. If I could trust my animals to wander around my colony without eating food and shit, I would probably do pretty well to train them to haul things. Ballas is on his way to tame the wild boar. Let's see if he succeeds, shall we? See if she succeeds. I should be more specific with your guys' in-game genders. Normally I just go off of names because I'm a horrible person. Ballas walks up to the warthog, to the wild boar, and begins trying to feed it some potatoes. He starts off by throwing them at the boar from a distance. A few of them bounce off of it. One impales itself on the tusk. He doesn't convince it to join up, however. He had a almost 10% chance to tame it and still failed. I have horrible luck when it comes to taming animals. A 10% chance will basically be an entire year in game. With my luck. Also, Moisture Pump is so close to draining the swamp here. I almost don't know how to contain myself. Simply sealing this off is going to be a huge sense of relief. At least until we get raided and enemies decide just to bust through it. breaking my heart. Let's see, how much steel do we have right now? Apparently 16 pieces of it. Once we get more, the next thing I will probably build is 2 more machine guns. It hurts me and pains me in my soul that we lost 2 of them so quick. We didn't even get a chance to use them, which is the saddest thing. At least I'm pretty damn sure we didn't. You alpacas are gonna learn to love us. We're gonna saddle you up and ride off into the sunset. I almost guarantee it. Could tame some monkeys too. I bet they would make a very good attack force. Perhaps we could give them knives and send them into combat. They can be the front lines that charge the enemies. The next thing that we are researching, by the way, it's starting to get to the point where research is going to take forever, so I can update you guys kind of regularly on it, is the advanced factorization. It gives our colony access to the latest assembly material, which I believe, don't quote me on it, I believe that is a Glitter World edition, and allows us to create some Glitter World components. That we will most likely need to craft things like the plasma fusion reactor. Because I still gotta find out where to make, where is it? Alpha poly and beta poly, which if I'm not mistaken takes silicon, and titanium in order to craft it. It's been a while since I went through the recipes for Glitter World. I'll probably have to do a crash course on that soon enough. We're also smoothing out all the walls. All of the rock walls on the inside of the colony. I'm not touching the ones on the outside here, because I'm going to do everything I can. Somebody died of a heart attack. I'm going to do everything I can to ensure that enemies outside the base have no idea that there's only one little sandstone wall between us and them out there. I have no doubt that they'll eventually learn it. But there's no reason to chisel it or smooth it down just to send out warning flags to them. It is the 11th of December, 11 o'clock at night. Metal Slime, Mickey Moore, congratulations on your marriage. I hope soon you'll start providing some, well, the first batch of children for the colony. It'd probably lighten everybody's mood up, and is certainly a sign that our colony is on the right path. Well, hello folks, and welcome back to Tafferton. It's the 1st of April, 9 o'clock in the morning, and would you look at that? Burton has got the first mount of the colony. We have tamed an alpaca and a boar, and are currently in the process of attempting to tame more. This is significant for us. If we can get enough rideable mounts, we should be able to traverse the world a little bit more quickly. And like I've said, it'll also allow us to haul heavier things away from crash sites. If we want to go trade things, if we want to go raid, we can actually bring things back. Kind of exciting. Right now I'm being a scavenger. We've got a lot of predators on the map just randomly killing things. And if they're going to kill it and not eat the rest of the meat, then we can help them out with that. Burton is on his way to tame the other alpaca. It's quicker than walking, I'm pretty damn sure. I heartily approve of this. Other than that, let's see what else is going around in the colony. I have begun work on this little area of expansion. Set up some bedrooms. I've moved the guest quarters out here, instead of being cramped into the far back reaches of the residential area. One more tick. Once that gets to 5.0, I was hoping it would be quicker than this, but man, it's taking forever. And then we're gonna seal that off. Kind of exciting. I'm still not entirely sure if it'll work, but we'll see. I'm also in the process of figuring out how I want to redo the water. While going through the options, I realized apparently at some point the mod was patched, I guess. Because I can no longer build solar heaters, and I can't build a copy of it. Which means if I destroy this thing, I have to set up a system quickly to heat any water that we get. And there's a couple other things that I need to apparently do because of changes with the mod. I can't build a small water tower anymore that pumps water, as far as I can tell. The water tower now is simply to hold water. I would need a water well to pump water out of the ground, and since I haven't researched electrical ones yet, I would also have to build a wind pump. So the plumbing is all kind of put on hold for now. Unfortunately, I can't read the kill list up there. I'm gonna have to just remove that mod. It either goes up in this corner or up in this corner, and it's not legible anywhere. But, let's see. Oh yeah, we also finished researching nuclear power, which allows us to build a compact fission reactor, which would give us 9,000 watts of power, I'm pretty sure it says. However, it burns 8 uranium per day. We've only got 130, so that's another power option that is out the window for now. I'm quickly running out of advanced technology to easily research that will allow me to change my power situation. If only the geysers were closer, we could actually use them. That's just a pipe dream. We'd have to expand so far out there to make it worthwhile. We'd have no real way to protect it up there. Even if I walled it in, I still have concerns about enemies dropping from space into my colony. I also built a moisture pump here because there's some marshland in this hallway that needs to be drained before we can build a flooring over it. And then we'll start building a roof on top of this stuff and everything. I think what we're going to do now, and I wasn't really planning on this yet, but where is it? I think we're going to build outdoor air conditioning units. Takes 90 steel and 3 components. Question is, where do I want them to go? So we're going to have to pipe in the cold air that they produce. Thinking right here wouldn't be bad. We can do 2 of those. And then once that gets set up, let's see. An indoor air conditioning unit. We'll place one there just to test it out and see what it's like. Wait a second, that's not the one I want. That's not the one I want. Timeout. I want the walk-in freezer unit. Requires 300 cooling units to be produced, which these things can produce, let's see, anywhere between 100 and 1,000 cooling units. I don't know if that's power dependent or if I have to link them together to get up to 1,000, but we'll find out soon enough. And if this system does work, I'll be ripping out all of these old coolers and destroying them. Kid Russia. Once again, fuck snapping. Pretty sure he's not gonna live very long, I just want to say. He's got carcinoma in his liver from heavy drinking. He smokes all the damn time. He's constantly just going on binges. I think he might be the most alcoholic person in the entire colony. His liver is by far the most abused one that we've got. Almost done smoothing down the walls and everything. I probably won't engrave them with a brick pattern just yet, but at some point I will so that they all match up. Just a small minor detail, and it will add to the beauty of the hallways and rooms, which is always nice. Other than that, there's not a whole lot going on in the colony. It's still peaceful as we slowly expand out and make this place more functional. It's the 1st of April, 5 o'clock in the evening, and we've got mounts.